Big 12s are this weekend, and there are a couple of wrestlers who are going to make some big moves and shine this weekend. So I'm going to tell you who can possibly win multiple titles as well as who you should be watching for at the Big 12 championships. Let's stop stalling and start talking wrestling. What's going on, wrestling fans? My name's Josiah, and I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Without further ado, let's talk about the Big Ten Wrestling Championships. This is going to be an exciting weekend between so many great teams, between Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Oklahoma, all of these teams, West Virginia. What a massive Big 12 tournament we have set up this weekend. And there are a couple of wrestlers who I wanted to bring to your attention that you should be on the lookout for this weekend. So, without further ado, moving on to one of the first guys that you should be watching out for, and that is Nick Piccini. Nick Piccini is, he has been a front runner as far as at 125 pounds in the NCAA, but he is a three-time Big 12 champ. He's looking for his another title, and this year he's wrestling just as great as he always has been. This year, he only has lost in the year to Spencer Lee and Patrick Glory. Of course, in the past, we've who are out of conference, which I will say, but we have seen him wrestle high caliber wrestlers and prove himself time and time again. I mean, last year, one of his most exciting victories was pinning Spencer Lee in the duel. And yes, we will see him do some exciting things this weekend again. He's tacked and pinned pretty much everybody in his conference besides, I think, two guys. He had a close match with Jacob Schwarm of UNI, who, is probably going to give him a little bit of a battle at 125 pounds. But Nick Piccini is a guy who I believe is going to shine from the rest of the competition. Moving on, Dimas is another wrestler who absolutely outlasts everybody in postseason competition. He has outshined many people in the past. He's a one-time Big 12 champ. He's looking for another title this year. Of course, last year was a freshman. This year is a sophomore. Last year he defeated Cade Brock. This year, yes, he was pinned by Caleb Rhea, but for most of the rest of his competition, he has absolutely outshined everybody. This season, he started out as the number one wrestler in the entire country at 141 pounds. Of course, he fell a little bit with that loss, as well as to a loss to Luke Pletcher, who is a wrestler who is not in his conference, but has, another guy who's outshined a lot of the competition this year. Now, Dom Dimas is a wrestler at 141 who I believe you should be watching out for. Looking forward to another title this weekend. At 149 pound is Boo Llewellyn. Llewellyn is a one-time champ. He actually defeated Max Thompson in 2018, which was the year that he All-Americaned. Last year, he was injured. In this year, he will be having some more tough competition with Max Thompson, and that is for sure. Now, he wrestled him this year already. I believe that he already beat him this year by a score of 5-2. So it's going to be some tough competition this year, but if Boo Llewellyn can get it and become win another title as a Big 12 champion, that will set him up with some good seeding at the NCAA tournament. Moving on to 157, and I actually have two guys at this weight, and you may be wondering, why are there two guys at this weight? And the first is a big guy, and that's David Carr, okay? And I'll talk about him first. So this is actually his first Big 12 tournament. He's a guy at the beginning of the year I said that you need to have your eyes on David Carr, and he just continuously climbed in the ranks and proven himself. Now, yes, he does have a loss on the year to Deacon at the Cliff Key in Las Vegas tournament, but Deegan has been the number one wrestler in the country since then, and David Carr, while he hasn't actually wrestled much the last month, so he hasn't really seen a lot of the competition. I'm interested to see where he does and how he does at the Big 12 tournament, because he defeated a couple of the wrestlers in this conference with style. He defeated them pretty contently, but I'm interested to see how he does. Now, the other wrestler I have at 157 that you should be looking out for is Wyatt Sheets of Oklahoma State. Sheets did not win it last year, but he's having an impressive season, most recently defeating Caleb Young, which is his most recent win, an impressive win over Caleb Young of Iowa, and that sets him up for some solid seeding at the Big or the NCAA tournament if he can win the Big 12s as well. Now, he has lost already in this year in a duel to David Carr. So that's the one thing. Maybe he's not outshining David Carr, but the question is, can he avenge that loss? Just a guy I want to throw in here to keep the conversation going. And please let me know who you think is going to shine at the Big 12 tournament in the comments below. But I have a couple more guys for you to watch out for, and one of these is Taylor Luhan. Luhan is 24-2 on the season. He wrestles at 184 pounds. Now, his only losses are actually out of conference, and both of them are ACC losses, losing to Trent Hidley as well as Hunter Boland. And this is one of my most exciting weight classes to watch in the postseason is 184 pounds. But anyways, Luhan is a 2018 Big 12 champion, defeating Jacoby Smith. Last year, actually, he lost to Jacoby Smith, so he beat him the 1 year, lost to him the next year, so he's a one-time Big 12 champ, looking for another title in the Big 12s this weekend. This season so far, he's wrestled most of the guys in his conference, defeating Marcus Coleman of Iowa State, Anthony Montalvo of Okie State, as well as Zach Carlson of South Dakota State. Luhan has outshined most of the competition this year. I mean, 24-2, an impressive record, and I'm excited to see how he does in the postseason. At 197 pounds, and for whatever reason, this guy's still flying under most people's radars, is Noah Adams. And I know he's going to come into the national tournament and make some big noise. And that's Noah Adams of West Virginia. He's undefeated on the season so far, 29-0. Now, most of his wins, he has wins over most of the guys in the conference, over Gear of Oklahoma State, who he pinned, over Jacob Woodley of Oklahoma, over Joel Shapiro of Iowa State, and Tanner Orndorff of Utah Valley. One of his most impressive victories on the season was at the Southern Scuffle, where, he won the Southern Scuffle, and Noah Adams has just been continuously impressing this entire season. Is somebody who's going to outshine everybody at the Big 12 tournament, and I'm interested to see how he does in the postseason competition. Now, please, again, let me know who you are excited to watch in the comments below.